on Funniest Pets and People, a joke-cracking cockatoo. A girl falls off her seat, then on her seat. A birdie in a hairy situation. Pop goes the chicken. And a guy bangs out a tune off the top of his head. So get set to get knocked over.
It's the show that will have you sit, stay, laugh, and beg for more. Welcome to Funniest Pets and People.
We've all done our work for the day. Now let's have some fun.
What you got? Let me see. Piece of paper and a crazy retrieving cat.
These folks are training their cat to do dog tricks. Now, they would teach him to lay down and play dead, but come on, the cat already does that about 14 hours a day.
Are you copying me? Are you copying me? Stop doing that. Stop doing that! I'm serious. I'm serious.
Corky is hard at work out in the back. Now, if you don't know why he's unsure whether to bury that or eat it, it's because you've never tried Aunt Edna's fruitcake. Watch this cat stick out his tongue every time the little boy blows the noisemaker. Isn't that a bizarre reaction? Oh no, not the cat. The kid. Ten-minute mile. 8-minute mile.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing?
None of this is fooling Buddy into thinking he's getting a walk.
Wait.
The dog is really into watching TV. But after 8 hours, his owner needs to think about leaving the TV tuned to the exercise channel all day. And jump! And jump! Come on, girls, you put it on. You gotta work it off. Jump! Good. The last thing you want to hear Daddy say when he's building your little chair is, "Where do them extra bolts go?" This fisherman just found out the catch of the day is him. And now it's Funniest Pets and People Unleashed. Look at that sheep and goat scuffle. Now, I don't know who will win this competition, but we're betting on the one with the big horns rather than the one covered in wool.
That's right, I'm bad.
Now, the beginning and end of Demolition Derby skiing. Look at this little guy scamper around the kitchen, will you? Yes, his curiosity and love of play makes AB-47 very similar to Earth dogs.
Uncle Riley texted, and I'll put a long winter theme song on my forehead.
Check this guy out. He's using his knuckles to play the William Tell Overture on his head. Now, he tried to play the 1812 Overture, but when he got to the cannon fire, he knocked himself out. This cat likes eating toilet paper. So remember that the next time you're about to plunk down $2 for a can of high-end cat food. This little guy is having trouble reaching, but he keeps trying like crazy. Really working up thirst, trying to quench his thirst. Look at this mother duck minding after her little ducklings. Yeah, she has a real caring heart. But very bad eyesight. Now, you might be laughing, but I'm telling you, this is the only way that chicken's gonna lay an egg. Fiddle player's doing a pretty good job of it too, don't you think? Coming up, a turtle tidal wave. And a drive-by splashing. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Look out for laughs from above. It's our feathered friends. The American Eagle, our national symbol of strength, courage, and... Oh, well, you get the idea. Although, don't be surprised if you see a little dog show up on the dollar bill. Now, we're not engineers, but this may be one of the best ways to determine you have leaks in your basement.
How do you spell bib?
Yes, he just correctly spelled bib. Now, for a bird, Petey had done amazingly well in the National Spelling Bee. But we really hate to tell him his next word is anti-disestablishmentarianism. Yeah, he's out like a light at noon. But what do you expect when you have to get up at the crack of dawn? If we've said it once, we have said it 1,000 times. Never discuss politics during family gatherings. This rooster may have gotten to share a meal by convincing these cats he's one of them. But when he's crowing his brains out at the crack of dawn, the jig is up. Look at this flamingo working out like crazy. It's really sad. No matter how hard he works those thighs, he's never going to make the cover of a fitness magazine. Boy, when a bird starts making a nest in your hair, you need to switch conditioners. Oh, yeah, that bird may seem really hilarious until they found out he stole every joke from Larry the Plumber.
Oh my God, look at him! My sister! Oh, Daddy, you're too funny.
Nothing makes you smile like turning on the waterworks. After 3 months of practice, no one had the heart to tell these turtles their synchronized swimming thing just, well, it wasn't working out. Carp fishing tip number 6.
Well, you painted a manta ray in Tennessee, so... A friendly fish. I'm gonna turn the movie off before Eric gets his hand bit off. I'll bring you back a lake full of fish.
Don't use your fingers as bait. With clear and sunny skies, it was the perfect day for flying. And swimming. All we can say about this clip is, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We can't quite make out what this guy is saying, but we're guessing it's not singing in the rain. cat rolling in dough. And a downhill racer causes a domino effect.
When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People.
Hey, let's go outside. Well, after the show. Now, just why is this little bird attacking a 2-ton tractor? Because he's got guts, determination, and a brain the size of a walnut. Well, we know a couple of things about the owner of these dogs. He's a good dog trainer. And a pretty lousy tennis player. Look at that little fella try. You gotta give him an A for effort. But it's really not a surprise that dogs rarely graduate high school. This is the sport of curling. Although we're not sure you can really call something a sport if you can do it wearing a 3-piece suit. And stitches in the back of your head. This fence is the only thing stopping that determined, relentless, angry little dog from running away as fast as possible. Now, look at these skiers lining up in perfect formation. Well, we know who's riding home in the back of the station wagon, don't we? There's nothing funnier than watching people trying to keep it cool. Broomball tip number 3. If you want to make the highlight reel, don't tick off the cameraman. This guy learns 2 things here. He can ski on water, but he can't walk on it. Curiosity may not kill the cat, but it sure is funny to watch. Now, we know you're thinking this is one crazy kitty, right? But he's just killing time waiting on his dial-up connection. This cat is going back and forth. On the one hand, he can believe it's not butter. On the other hand, he can't.
Butter. Parquet.
Tonight,
on America's Next Top Cat Model. Fifi struts her stuff for the cameras, and she looks perfect as the competition heats up.
It's only because that goldfish is in water that you can't see him sweating. Coming up, a dog chases his dreams. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Oh, just when you get rid of the bed bugs. Now you've got fleas. See you next time.